This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and it's pen time. This is the Wacom Bamboo Tip. This is a new pen from Wacom. Wacom are the folks who, those of you who are into art already know this, make the Wacom Cintiq lines. That's on my bucket list of the best thing ever if you're an artist to draw on, drawing pen displays, the Wacom Mobile Studio Pro. They also make the digitizers, the Wacom AES digitizers used in recent Dell 2-in-1s, Lenovo's, all that sort of thing. So you get the idea. Well, they also make some handy-dandy stuff for those of you who have just a capacitive display. Now, I know some of you write to me, you message me on Twitter, and you say, oh, I bought the wrong laptop, or I bought this phone, and is there any kind of pen that I can use for it? And usually it's just, oh, that old fat capacitive stylus, which is just really nasty. So the nice thing about this one is it's a 1.9 millimeter tip, so it's a lot more fine tip. It feels and looks like one of those active digitizer pens. However, it's still capacitive, so we're going to find out how well it works now. So the Bamboo Tip is a capacitive stylus. This is not for those products that already have an active digitizer because it's redundant and, well, inferior to an active digitizer, i.e. Surface Pro with Hendrick digitizer, Wacom AES in the Lenovo ThinkPad Yoga, the iPad Pro, and the Apple Pencil. If you've got one of those devices, you want to use pens that were meant for them because they're going to be better in all respects. But for those of you who bought a device, and say like a Dell Inspiron 5000 that we're going to test this on, or more aptly, what they aim this at is Android and iOS users, say your regular iPad non-Pro model, your iPhone, your Android tablet or phone. This is a driverless, non-Bluetooth device that you just, well, charge it up and it works. So that's kind of nice. No futzing with Bluetooth, no hokey pokey, no funky things going on. And it looks pretty classy, and it should for $50, right? This looks nice. It's metal barrel pen. And the tip at 1.9 millimeters certainly is a lot more precise than your average. This is just your basic capacitive stylus, which is, gee, this is like trying to write with a crayon in comparison. It's just not so great. So how does this work? It has an on-off button on the side, which is recessed, and you're not going to press this by accident. And you press it quickly once and to turn it off, and it'll blink twice in amber. If you want to turn it on, press it, and it goes green. Now, it will go to sleep to save battery power if you just leave it be and you're not doing anything, which is nice. How do you charge it? Right up top here, there's a little rubber cover, and there's a micro USB port, and it comes with a little cable here. And they say that you get about 2 hours of use time on a charge, which is decent. It's not as good as the quadruple A powered active pens that we've looked at, but that's not too bad. This is an interesting thing. Usually capacitive ones do not have any power. I think they're doing it to amp the level of capacitance or conductivity so that they can use the smaller tip here and still have the thing work. By the way, the nibs are replaceable on this, and Wacom does sell them on their site. This little switch here is in case you find that it's a little jumpy when you're writing. Mostly they say that would be for the iPad Pro. Again, I would really spend the money for the pencil if you've already bought the expensive iPad Pro to get the best writing experience, but that's what that little switch is for. So how well does it work? Well, here we have an iPhone 8 Plus, and again, no software installation, no pairing, nothing is required. And I'm using Sketchbook Pro application here, and that's fantastic. And I can actually see, because Sketchbook Pro supports pressure sensitivity, even with your finger, I'm pressing harder, the line is getting darker, that you can even get something like a little bit of pressure sensitivity here. This is about the best experience here and on Android phones that you're going to get. But still, I'm seeing the lines sometimes lagging behind and not following so much. The big caveat here is there's no palm rejection. That means you can't rest your hand on the screen at the same time. When I do that, see, it's no longer writing because it's confused as to what the contact point is. That's a drawback with all capacitive pens because your hand is also capacitive, so it doesn't really know what to do about that. But it's not too bad. And if you just want to use this as a big notepad, say you're an iPhone person, but you really like that Galaxy Note 8 note-taking feature, this is adequate certainly for taking notes. And it's better than drawing with your finger. I'll give it that. It most certainly is, even though, yeah, it's not as good as an active digitizer. Now we have Adobe Photoshop Sketch on the Essential phone, an Android phone right here. And again, no pairing, no Bluetooth, no nothing. And that's how it writes. It's a little bit harder to get the E, say, for example, on this. It's minimizing my strokes a little bit. Well, that's not the greatest thing in the world. So let's switch over to a brush like. Now, if you're doing artwork, actually, this is a little bit of a nicer experience. It's got pretty nice flow here, and well, we could do an abstract tree really quick. Well, not really so much, but you know, you get the idea. That's a little bit better. As a writing tool here, yeah, you know, it's going to vary a little bit from phone to phone when it comes to Android too, depending on the display, because different displays have different levels of capacitance. Now, just for giggles, this is the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, and instead of using the S Pen, we're going to use this pen and see how well it does. So that's not too bad. I'm trying to draw a little highlight on the mountain there. Again, it's not tracking real perfectly if you're going to do artwork. And the tilt of the pen can really throw it off. This is a pen that you want to use kind of upright, more so if you wanted to draw underneath the tip. And I've noticed in general with laptops too that have active digitizers, this actually works a little bit better than with ones that are just capacitive touchscreen only. So there you have it. So you just, again, so you can see the variability between devices here. But it certainly is better than trying to draw with your finger. This is really... oh, that's terrible. That's a mess. So how about Android tablets? This is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S2. That's the previous generation. It has no active pen support. And this is Wacom's own bamboo paper application, which is a pretty nice application actually for note-taking or for drawing too. So this one tracks really well. The most awkward thing here is I'm trying to rest my hand on the frame so I don't put my hand on the glass. Now let's see if I can do a little sketch. Well, that's interesting. It's undoing the line. It's not too bad. Occasionally missing a stroke. But if I rest my hand on here, it's all not going to work at all. So again, that's just the challenge of anything that's capacitive. In fact, it's just going to go out to lunch for a little bit before it comes back again. No pressure sensitivity going on here, but again, it's certainly better than doing this. And how about if we switch to, well, just your basic $5, bought at the local electronics store, fat tip stylus. Not a whole lot better there. In fact, it's a little bit worse. It's a little bit more awkward for drawing because I can't be very precise with this tip. So you do get precision from that fine tip, and that helps. So how about laptops? This is where I know a lot of you are interested in these kind of products because you bought a laptop and maybe you're even misled by the salesperson. You thought it had an active pen and digitizer and it doesn't. Well, this is a Dell Inspiron 13 5000 series laptop. It does not have an active digitizer. We've got Autodesk Sketchbook Pro program here again. And once again, you're going to have to not touch the screen while you're working. So let's just test out note-taking. This is not a real great solution here. And the Dell XPS 13 and various other laptops, we tried the LG Gram 15, the capacitive displays and this are not really working so well. You could do a better job with your finger here. Probably has to do with the amount of power that's actually required to do anything. So let's try with this one. As you can see, still not so great. So capacitive pens in general that are not using Bluetooth are not a great alternative yet for these. And even the Bluetooth ones have their drawbacks. You're really just better off getting something that was built with Windows capabilities built in, whether it's Wacom AES, Wacom EMR, or N-Trig, any of those active pens. So that's the Wacom Bamboo Tip. As capacitive styluses or pens go, this is the best that I've seen yet, as good as it gets. No drivers needed for installation, just charge it, plug and play, go. And that part's pretty nice. The lack of palm rejection, the usual problems with capacitive pens, and generally speaking, no pressure sensitivity, though some iPad apps or iPhone apps might actually give some degree of a sensation of pressure sensitivity. In general, if you got stuck with a device that doesn't have an active digitizer and pen and you really wish it did, but you can't replace the device, this $50 pen certainly is about as good as it's going to get right now. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos and thumbs up if you like this vid.